Department of Corrections certainly regrets the mistake that we made that resulted in this man's early release, and we offer our profound condolences to the victim's family.
New information tonight in the Jeremy Gibson murder case. Good evening, I'm Gina Quattrochi. Jeff Smith has the night off. News Channel 18's Nicole Kahn is live at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. Nicole, what have we learned this evening?
Gina, it's here at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse in Lafayette that the prosecutor discovered a clerical error, and it could prove that that error was fatal to murder victim Jeremy Gibson. Gibson was killed in July in Lafayette. 3 people were arrested in connection with that crime. One of those men was Antonio Williams. Tippecanoe County Prosecutor Pat Harrington says he found he was released from prison early by mistake, that Williams should have been behind bars when that murder occurred. Williams was serving time for a previous robbery at the Plainfield Correctional Facility. Williams was let go out of prison in March. It was 4 months later in July that he was arrested for involvement in the Jeremy Gibson murder. Williams should have been released instead in 2012. He still had approximately 16 months to serve when he was let out of prison. Prosecutor told Gibson's family today about that error. I spoke with them briefly. They were visibly upset and in shock. They did not want to give a statement to News Channel 18, but the prosecutor says they want to be sure that this type of mistake never happens again.
They feel they're justified in asking for an investigation to the DOC to find out exactly how this mistake was made. They have informed me they are probably going to contact local representatives, Senator Alting, because they feel like more than anyone else in this state, they're entitled to those answers.
The Gibson family told me they do believe that Jeremy would still be alive today if Williams was behind bars where he belonged at the time of his murder. The prosecutor says he's never seen an error like this, and he also wants to be clear. This mistake was not made locally in Tippecanoe County. It was a state error. And he also told me that this finding has no bearing on Williams' murder case at this time. Reporting live from the Tippecanoe County Courthouse, Nicole Kahn, News Channel 18.
Nicole, thank you. News Channel 18's Dan Klein has also been working on this story this afternoon. He joins us now with team coverage. Dan, how could this have happened? That's the question.
It's a good question, and one that everyone is trying to answer. How could this have happened? How was accused murderer Antonio Williams released early from his sentence? News Channel 18 discovered that Williams was released in March of 2011 when he should have been released August of 2012. Now, the Chief Communications Officer for the Indiana Department of Corrections, Doug Garrison, says, bottom line, it's human error. But he says Williams' sentence was modified 4 times. Now, each time the Department of Corrections had to recalculate his sentence. He says that's a complex process, and somehow that's where the mistake was made. He says the DOC releases about 19,000 offenders every year without a problem, but releasing someone early is a mistake that hasn't made before, he says, to his knowledge, 2 times in the last few years. He says the DOC, to his knowledge, this happened before. Releasing someone early is a mistake that has been made before 2 times in the last 2 years.
Our application of the court's order modifying the sentence was inaccurately entered into our system, and that's what caused him to have a release date that was different than the one he should have had.
Now, Tippecanoe County Sheriff Tracy Brown says usually offenders do not stay in county jails after they are convicted and sentenced if it's a felony. He says prisoners serve their time at the Department of Corrections facilities.
With inmate Antonio Williams, again, that happened on March 7th of 2008, and upon conviction here in Tippecanoe County, he would have been transferred from our facility, which is basically a temporary facility, into the Indiana Department of Corrections, and specifically their Reception Diagnostic Center.
Now, in his sad irony, Brown says Williams was arrested by police in Tippecanoe County in May of this year for trespassing, but Williams paid his bond and was released. Brown says the system said Williams was on parole, and there was no indication Williams was released from the Department of Corrections too early. Now, tonight at 11, we'll tell you what changes the DOC will be making in an attempt to ensure this doesn't happen again, and there's also bonus information on our website at WLFI.com. Dan Klein, News Channel 18.